So they be watching Jxmyhighroller. Is LeBron making Luka worse? The answer to this question is very, very weird to answer. I'm not going to lie. Because it is going to be a learning curve with this. It is going to be a big learning curve with this. This man LeBron been playing number one his whole life. Now he got the best player in the league type stuff. You feel me? Top 3 players if you want to go there. But hey, Luka my favorite player, so I gotta say the best player in the league. So now he got the best player in the league. He gotta start playing off ball, and they both go playmakers. They both at their best when they are the number one person with the ball, making the plays, seeing the court. I feel like the best way to do this is a lot of 2-man action. Forget point guard center. Even though they both cold at point guard center, because they oop and how they pick apart that is crazy. But I feel like if you do LeBron, Luka actions when they both in the pick and roll together. Pick and roll. They double. Dish it to Bron. He gonna see the court perfectly. Pick and roll. They don't. Luka got that sidestep, pull up, green. Drive to the paint, body, laid up the ball. You feel me? All you gotta do is, cause they gonna see the court perfectly. No matter who they give it to on the pick and roll, they gonna get the ball to the right spot every time. I feel like they need to start incorporating that more. When they start doing that, it's crazy. And then having one of them at the nail. Because LeBron be shooting nowadays, bro. And Luka already got a jumper. So have one of them right on the nail. If they try to help off of him, pass, attack, pass again. That's how they got to do it. Make sure they both being able to play at their best off the with playmaking. Real talk. But with that being said, if you're new, subscribe. We're in the road to 2,000 subs, man. I love y'all, man. I'm back. Let's get into the vid. Let work. Ain't nothing to it but to get to it. Let work. Where my sound at, bro? Oh, yeah, I got the sound on.
After getting out to a rough start, we are now 7 games into the Luka Doncic era in LA. And after getting out to a rough start, things seem to be on the right path for the Lakers and their new superstar. But Luka still doesn't look quite like Luka. In fact, his first 3 games with the team was statistically the worst 3-game stretch of his
He was injured. He just got back off injuries. We not doing that.
Entire career, trailing even his first 3 games in the NBA. Now, there are plenty of great reasons why this has been the case. The man is transitioning into a completely new system. He's playing alongside new teammates and just beginning to build chemistry with them. He's coming off of the most serious injury in his career, and he's playing himself back into shape. And of course, he's still mentally recovering from one of the most egregious cases of backstabbing in sports history. All of these explanations are perfectly reasonable, but some fans—
That's not even backstabbing, if we be honest. The Mavs killed themselves. They tried to stab him, and they stabbed themselves. Like, what was y'all thinking, bro? Trade Luka Doncic, though. We trade Luka Doncic, gang. We trade Luka. What's wrong with him?
Have elected a 4th possible reason for Luka's recent slump. This man, claiming that LeBron is to blame for Luka's struggles because he simply does not make his teammates better. In fact, some fans are claiming he never has. And that—
Okay, they capping. LeBron didn't. I ain't gonna lie, LeBron elevate weak players into good players to all-star level. I feel like he kind of diminished legendary players down a little bit because they gotta play next to him. You feel me? Because we seen the type of teams LeBron was bringing to the finals, gang. No cap. Did that nail help? Green, you feel me? Every time, brother. He made these weak players look good. No cap. Where's Matthew Dellavedova now? The world may never find him. That man in the lost and found. You're not finding him, bro. You're not finding him. But with that being said, I do think he diminished like legendary players because everybody gonna have to sacrifice something. And when you LeBron, would you want me to sacrifice my skills for somebody I'm better than? You feel me? I gotta be able to do everything I'm supposed to do with this ball. That's why LeBron best teammates gotta be players that can take over the game or a defensive player first, like Kyrie and AD. That's why they was his best players. D-Wade, he was an on the ball player the whole game. He played good defense. He was a 2-way player for real, but I feel like that was more of an experiment. They wasn't ready the first year. After that, they knew exactly how it needed to be done. That's why they was perfect teammates after that, every time.
Luka is next in line to have his career completely altered by LeBron and his heliocentric, self-serving play style. It's a claim that sounds outlandish, but as Luka's first stretch in LA has unfolded, I've begun to see this claim more and more. LeBron simply doesn't elevate those around him. And the more I saw it, the more I began to wonder if LeBron is a great teammate or if he is just a great player. A question that led me down a rabbit hole of player testimonies, historic data, and career trajectories to uncover the truth behind if LeBron truly makes his teammates better.
It's Brian, bro. It's Brian, bro.
Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek. Whether you're looking for concert tickets or the best seats at the game, everything
he almost
you
got
can
me, bro.
get
He almost got me.
The year is 2007. Dirk Nowitzki is the MVP frontrunner. Steve Jobs just announced the first iPhone. Kevin Durant is still at Texas. And LeBron just dropped a 40-piece on the Pistons. An early masterpiece within his storied career and fuel to the fire both for fans and critics. At this point, the world was well acclimated to the megastar LeBron was becoming. This kid isn't just good, he may be the best player in the world. But does he make his teammates better? In a Slam article published in March of 2007, the question was already being posed. The verdict at the time? It didn't matter. His teammates weren't good enough to make a difference anyways, and he would need to drop 40 bombs to keep his team alive come the playoffs. Which is exactly what he did a month later when he put together one of the most ridiculous carry jobs the NBA has ever seen, dragging an underwhelming Cavs roster to the NBA Finals. Fast forward 18 years, and LeBron is still really good. And the question of if he truly makes his teammates better is still being asked. The latest evidence suggesting he actually doesn't? A 25-year-old superstar Luka Doncic struggling to adapt to a system centered around a 40-year-old LeBron.
That's the thing I never understood. It's time for LeBron to be the second fiddle. We gotta give Luka the keys. I'm sorry. Maybe give LeBron some time at the fourth quarter, but the whole game it gotta be Luka, bro. Luka gotta be in rhythm by the end of the game. I'm not gonna cap. I don't know what we doing if we not letting Luka eat.
Career lows almost across the board in his first stretch with the team. And although there is a list of perfectly good explanations for Luka's struggles, some suggest the real problem is LeBron. We have seen LeBron elevate countless teammates into real championship caliber players. But we've also seen legitimate talent get suppressed and relegated under LeBron's leadership and play style. So, is there any real validity to this argument? And is LeBron James a great teammate or just a great player? Well, over the course of LeBron's career, he has played with a total of 240 players, but many of these were for just a handful of games. Of the 240, 110 of these teammates played with him for a considerable amount of time, at least a full season of being on the same roster. And out of these 110 past and present teammates, only 27 of them played their best season in the league while playing with LeBron. That's only 25%. The other 75% of his teammates had their best season somewhere else. But this
I'm finna say that we can't do that. Cause Bron most definitely had some aging some age superstars or stars that was past their primes by the time they got with Bron. Had people that you feel me? They was already superstar players before they even had LeBron on their squad. So we can't do that. I'm not gonna cap. A lot of these players was old, bro. You got to keep in mind, LeBron teams always consist of 2 all NBA players or 3 in a bunch of minimum contract players. So they're gonna be old and washed, and LeBron gotta rejuvenate them somehow every time. I promise you that's how it works. It's some young players that got something to prove. That's exactly how it be.
Isn't really a fair metric. Many of these players became teammates with LeBron long after their prime years and weren't nearly as good or productive as they were prior to teaming up with LeBron. Now, looking at the most notable and longest tenured teammates of LeBron's career, nearly all of them played better or at least had better seasons without LeBron. And most of these players were in their prime when they became teammates, including Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, and Anthony Davis. But this still doesn't address the progression or regression players have once they team up with LeBron. How players played in the season prior to teaming up with LeBron, how they played in the following season with LeBron, and how they played once they were no longer teammates with him. So here is every player that was a teammate of LeBron's for at least a full season's worth of games. 59 players in total, ranging from Avery Bradley and Rashard Lewis to Anthony Davis and Chris Bosh. Now, of the 52 players who played at least a full season in the league before becoming teammates with LeBron, 26 of them saw an increase in their value and impact after teaming up with him. 24 had a decrease in their value and impact, and 2 of them stayed virtually the same. In other words, about half of LeBron's teammates played better, about half of them played worse, and on average, his presence was essentially a net neutral. But this is where it gets really interesting. Of the 45 players who played seasons following their time with LeBron, in cases where he left the team or they did, 34 of them saw a decrease in their value and impact once they were no longer teammates. On average, when players join LeBron, their value pretty much doesn't change. But once they are no longer teammates with LeBron, their value tends to fall off drastically. Why this happens is completely dependent on the situation and the player. It may be due to aging, readjusting to a new system, or probably the massive LeBron-sized void that is left in his departure. According to this data, overall, having LeBron as a teammate produces an overwhelmingly positive result versus not having him as a teammate. Breaking news, I know, right? But it also tells us that generally speaking, LeBron doesn't really make his teammates better. This data is far from perfect, but it tells us a lot about the impact LeBron has had and the role he has played throughout his career. Historically, LeBron has made teams better, but not often do we see players, especially established players, take leaps in their game as his teammate. Oftentimes, his sheer dominance and other players fitting around his playstyle being the driving.
Right now, I'm trying to think about what players elevated another player. Besides KD, I can't think of nothing, bro. When Steph Curry when KD went to the Warriors, Steph Curry improved KD game tremendously. And that's because he was on the greatest team of all time, bro. Like, who can we actually say? I'm trying to think, bruh. I don't really know. I don't.
Force for his team's success, which is actually revealed within this data, because the players that tend to see the most improvement once they become teammates with LeBron are the ones that mesh well with his play style. 3-and-D off-ball scoring threats and shooters that space the floor and benefit from LeBron's playmaking. J.R. Smith, Mo Williams, Channing Frye, Kyle Korver, Rashard Lewis, and Shane Battier. Big men have consistently also benefited from playing with LeBron. Players like Ilgauskas, Tristan Thompson, Drew Gooden, JaVale McGee, Ben Wallace, and Timofey Mozgov have all seen a boost in their production and efficiency while playing with LeBron. Now, the players that tend to regress once they become teammates with him are usually the high-usage, ball-dominant players that are pushed into a more passive role when sharing the court with LeBron. Essentially, former first options that have to adjust to being second or at times even third options on offense, changing their touches, their rhythm, and even when and how they operate on the court. Players like Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, Anthony Davis, Rajon Rondo, Russell Westbrook, and possibly where we might eventually find Luka Doncic. And this is the answer to the age-old question we came here to answer today. For most players, teaming up with LeBron can come with more open looks. It can mean an easier offensive assignment or a role that better suits your play style. With a playmaker as incredible as LeBron is, scoring opportunities can open up in places they never did before, in the form of lobs, skip passes, being rewarded for cutting and moving off the ball, and even being in close proximity to LeBron, granting them access to one of the sharpest minds basketball has ever seen. For the most part, it's the role players, glue guys, spot-up shooters who have benefited greatly from playing with LeBron. For these players, he does in fact make them better and more valuable on the court. As some would put it, LeBron is the ultimate floor raiser. For most of his career, you could give him 7 marginal talents and he would find a way to turn them into a 50-win title-contending team. It is a tangible quality that has ultimately been a blessing and, at times, a curse. The blessing is that regardless of who LeBron is playing with, he is the offense. The curse is that regardless of who LeBron is playing with, he's still the offense. And this floor-raising superpower seems to get neutralized the further off the floor it gets. For elite players who are accustomed to running an offense tailor-made for them and their pace and their play style, playing with LeBron is a massive adjustment. The more your game is predicated on operating with the ball in your hands, the less likely playing with LeBron.
Man, Kyrie's so cold, bruh.
going to elevate your game. And so it ends up being the best, high usage, high profile, ball dominant players that usually see a slight decline in their production and impact once they become teammates with LeBron. It's Chris Bosh and Kevin Love going from bona fide first options to hyper-efficient third options with a lighter offensive load. It's players like Anthony Davis and Dwayne Wade going from offensive engines to pieces in what inevitably becomes LeBron's offense. In 2018, Kevin Pelton of ESPN used the Shaney projection system to find out if LeBron made his teammates better. And after analyzing 25 different teammates of LeBron from 2014 to 2018, the numbers indicated that only 9 of them met or exceeded their projected impact once teaming up with LeBron. Pelton's final conclusion after conducting his analysis: any team with James must be careful not to invest too many resources on players who are best with the ball in their hands. Instead, the focus should be finding role players whose games will mesh well with LeBron's. And although teaming up with LeBron is a transition that has proven to be purely incompatible for some players, a lighter offensive burden is not necessarily an indicator of regression. In fact, a lighter offensive burden is not necessarily
I thought you had Bosley. Thought you got you some Bosley.
Necessarily an indicator of regression. In fact, in many cases, sacrificing box score numbers and shot attempts and usage is a sacrifice necessary to win. For every player that was forced to take a backseat and transform their game for the sake of LeBron and the team, there's a player who's found success and improvement in being teammates with LeBron. Because
I just think it's team play for real. No lie. Like, of course you're gonna have way better numbers when you the only option on your team. No, when the system is built around you. You wasn't winning like that. That's why you got on the team with Bron. You realized that we need each other. I'm finna sacrifice something for the greater good of the team. That's just how I gotta go.
Bron may or may not make you a better player, but he has perpetually made teams better. And it's a trade-off that most players are ready and willing to make if they want to win. Dwayne Wade said that LeBron is the best teammate you could ever have. Chris Bosh said playing with LeBron was a dream and that the game was easy with him. Kevin Love said LeBron made the game easier for all of us. Anthony Davis said LeBron is the best leader I've ever played with. He makes everyone better. And this is the resounding sentiment of most players that have played with LeBron.
We don't care about what Kuzma said. We don't care about what Kuzma said, gang. I'm sorry.
He is the best player in the world and an even better teammate. LeBron put me in a position to succeed. He's a great teammate.
He's a great Smith, man.
Teammate. He made the game easier for all of us. LeBron is the ultimate teammate. LeBron makes the right play every time. He is an incredible teammate. The numbers and data may get us closer to an objective truth behind this question, but it's the personal testimonies from teammates themselves that, to me, speak louder than anything. And all of this information that we gather here today gives us a small glimpse at where this duo may end up and the sacrifices that will be necessary if they want to tap into their full potential of what they can be as teammates. For 2 decades, LeBron has been the centerpiece to every roster he's ever been on. 240 teammates over the course of 22 years, all of them fitting around him. But at the age of 40, it might be time to pass the torch to a player who is ready to fill a role only LeBron wants.
This man LeBron been playing basketball longer than y'all been alive. That's crazy. He been playing basketball long. He been in the league longer than a lot of people been alive, gang. Real talk.
Could. LeBron and Luka may be able to coexist just as they are without compromising their games. But if history has shown us anything, regardless of the talent available, and especially if the talent available is extraordinary, in order to be great, someone has to be willing to recalibrate their game in exchange for winning and what's best for those around them. A sacrifice that many great players have made for LeBron, and one that he may soon have to make for his teammate.
Luke. I love my boy Luke, man. With that being said, if you're new, subscribe. Love y'all, man. Tell me what y'all want to see next. I got y'all.